Man who stole an ambulance outside of UH has received his punishment by a judge, and it may surprise you. Our Aria Janelle live this evening outside the Lake County Courthouse. And Aria, what exactly did the judge decide?
Jamarian Hill was sentenced to 126 days in jail and then 4 years of probation after that. The judge did ask Hill why he stole that ambulance in the first place back in June, and his answer played a big role in the sentencing decision today.
You better get it straight, like after this thing, okay? Because if you don't, this record is going to continue to follow you, and it's going to get worse and worse. Words
of advice from Judge John O'Donnell to 19-year-old Jamarian Hill. Back in June, Hill was seen circling an ambulance at University Hospital's Lake West Medical Center in Willoughby. You can see in this video Hill jump in the ambulance and try to drive away, but before he could get far, paramedic Brian Palladino jumped into the window and stopped him. The ambulance hit a sidewall and Hill was arrested. Palladino had minor injuries and spoke to 19 News a day after the incident.
So I was able to wiggle in the window a little bit more, and I was able to kind of turn the wheel.
Did that suspect say anything to you?
He said he needed a ride home.
On Wednesday, when the judge asked him why he was even near the ambulance, Hill said he was at the hospital detoxing from fentanyl. He said he was still high at the time of the incident and doesn't remember much of what happened.
I want to say that I apologize and that I had a serious problem with drugs, and I admit to what I've done.
The judge sentenced Hill to 126 days in jail with the expectation that he would spend the last month getting treatment for his addiction.
You got a chance, but it's only a chance, okay? If you don't take advantage of it, it doesn't mean anything.
The incident caused about $12,000 worth of damage. The Willoughby Hills fire chief says they're looking at other ways to make sure those ambulances stay put so something like this doesn't happen again. Live here in Lake County, I'm Aria Janelle, 19 News.